Hey guys, what's going on? It's James here, and today what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you guys 5 tips for a successful diet. Now, I don't really like to use the word diet. It has a lot of negative connotations, and people think of really structured, really rigid eating plans that remove a lot of the foods that they love, that they grew up eating, and replaces it with a lot of shitty foods that they don't really like. Now, the reality is all a diet are the foods that you are actually eating every day. Whether it's junk food, whether it's healthy food, you're on some kind of a diet right now. My job is to help you change that, to modify it, to eat something a little bit better that's going to support you. All right, tip number 1, find something to track. That which is measured is managed. It's a quote by Peter Drucker. It's a really good quote to live by, and it applies just as much to your diet as it does to your training, as it does to your business, as it does to anything you're doing in life. Now, when I say track, it doesn't have to be calories, it doesn't have to be macros. If you're really new to the game, just grab a composition notebook and start writing out what you're eating every day. It's going to give you something to kind of look back on later on and see what was working, what wasn't working, and where you can go from there. But if you don't write it down, if you don't track it, you have no idea what you've been doing, and it's really hard to make a change or do something different. So tip number 1, track something. All right, tip number 2, focus on your sleep and recovery. Now, when you're dieting, you're probably on a caloric restriction, whether it's because you're training a lot more, whether it's because you're eating a lot less, or when you're finding a middle ground, you're on some kind of caloric restriction. When you are not eating as many calories as you need to maintain your body in order to lose fat, what happens is you start getting tired, you stop recovering from your workouts, and your body stops functioning as well as it could. The way we combat that is we make sure we're getting enough sleep every night. Now, when I say enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours. I know that's tough for some people, but that's just what your body requires to really function at its best. If you're not getting 7 to 8 hours, you're going to have a hard time recovering from your workouts. You're going to be really tired, you're going to be really sluggish, and you're not going to be able to get the results that you really look for. So part of a good nutrition plan, part of dieting, is making sure you're getting enough sleep. All right, tip number 3, get your blood tested. Now, when I talk about blood testing, what I'm talking about is getting different hormones checked. If you're a guy, that means testosterone, that means growth hormone. If you're anyone else, you need, guys and girls, you need to get your cortisol levels tested. It's a good idea to get your insulin and blood sugar levels tested, your thyroid hormone. All of these things are what your body needs to be healthy in order to start losing body fat and not lose muscle at the same time. If all those hormone levels are in check, then you're going to be fine. You're going to feel good, you're going to perform good, and you're going to get the best results that you can. If those levels fall below what they need to be, then your body's going to really start to hold on to the fat. It's going to have a hard time building muscle, and it's just going to be the reason that you're not feeling good on a regular basis. Now, why blood testing is important is it gives you some kind of marker. It gives you a baseline of where you're at. So later on, when you get them tested, what it's going to do, it's going to tell you what levels are low, what levels are high for you personally. If you never get your levels tested, you're never going to know that if what you're doing is really helping you in a positive way or if it's impacting you negatively. Now, for example, with guys and testosterone, having a baseline established, especially when you're in your early 20s, I know that sounds really early to get your testosterone levels tested, but the thing is that now when you go back and you're 40 years old, you can see, oh, this is what my baseline was, but now I'm way below that. So now you know that you have to tweak something and make a change to kind of improve your health. All right, so that's tip number 3 is get your blood levels tested. All right, tip number 4, have a cheat day. I'm going to say that again. Tip number 4 is have a cheat day. Cheat days do a couple of really important things. The first being, and probably the most important, is it's almost like a pressure release valve, especially when you've been really strict with your diet, when you've been eating mostly clean foods, when you've been avoiding all the snacks and cookies and burritos and pizza and all the foods that you crave throughout the week. What a cheat day is going to do is going to help you get through those hard moments and not fall back, not binge, not grab the cookies and the crap that you have lying around in the kitchen. A cheat day is going to help you persevere through the hard times when you want to grab the junk food that's not really conducive to what you're trying to do. The other thing that a cheat day is going to do is it's going to help bump up some of those hormone levels that drop when you're on a caloric restriction for too long. Your leptin levels, your metabolism overall. It's going to help bring those levels back up to normal so that you can continue to burn fat throughout the week. When you drop your calories too low for too long, all those levels start to really plummet, and a cheat day is going to help bring them back up to normal. All right, tip number 5, get coaching. All right, I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach. I'm saying it because I've been coached and I see how much of a difference it makes in what you're doing. I've had coaches with training that have really helped me bring things to a next level. A lot of times I used to think that I could always do it on my own, but I realized what a coach is going to do, it's going to give you an extra layer of accountability in your life, which is the biggest thing, because when you try to do something on your own, you're really relying on yourself to make sure you have enough willpower, make sure you know exactly what you're doing. And what ends up happening is you find reasons, you trick yourself into thinking that, oh, it's okay if I fall off today, it's okay if I fall off tomorrow. And that leads into a week, it leads into a month, and it leads into giving up entirely. What a coach is going to do, it's going to give you some kind of accountability system that you're going to have to check in on a regular basis, so that you know that if you're cheating on your diet, if you're not following the plan you're supposed to be, that you're going to have someone to answer to. That's probably the biggest thing a coach is going to do for you. It's going to give you some kind of accountability to follow along with what you're doing. Now, the other thing a coach is going to do is he's going to be able to see all the little things from an outside perspective and tell you what's working and what's not working. A lot of times when it comes to our diet, we like to, or really anything in life, we like to tell ourselves why something's not working, why something is working, and we don't always see things in reality when it comes to ourselves. A coach is going to be able to look at it from a third person and kind of look with just an outside perspective to kind of give you another angle on what you're doing and help you see things in a different way. So tip number 5, get coaching. Now, whether it's an online coach or an in-person coach, that's going to be up to you, whatever's going to work best for you, but that's it. All right, so those are the 5 tips that I have for you for a successful diet. Tip number 1, find something to track. Tip number 2, focus on your sleep and recovery. Tip number 3, get your blood tested. Tip number 4, have a cheat day. And tip number 5, get coaching. Now, if you like the video today, I got another one coming for you next week. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and definitely head over to cheeksbarbell.com and sign up for my newsletter. Have a good one. I'll see you guys next week.